This event allows us to proudly present and share with you the accomplishments of women who have etched out a place for themselves on St. Louis's cultural landscape. Counting our 2018 honorees, I am proud to report to you that we have honored 93 extraordinarily talented women. And here's the really good news. We are not finished. Did I tell you? We're not finished, Kim. We're not finished. In fact, we've just begun to celebrate what is so special about St. Louis, the boundless number of women who are worthy of this award. And we've only really just started to scratch the surface. In fact, this year alone, we had a record-breaking number of nominations, and that really supports that we're just so thrilled to be doing this. We're also very honored to have a special guest with us tonight. The Honorable Mayor Lyda Krewson is joining us, and I'd like to thank her so much. Thank you, Lyda. And Lyda joined us last year after she was mayor for about 2 hours. And now she's back again with us, and she really does support the arts and women in the arts. So thank you so much, Lyda. Okay. I'm almost done. To all of you who are returning, we just want to thank you so much, and we would really like to welcome our new audience members, and thank you, and we hope you'll come back. You are in for a real treat. You are about to discover why the theme for this evening is magic. I would like to acknowledge now the members of the Board of the Visionary Awards who have been planning for this evening all year. When I call your name, please stand. Kim Eberline, Adrian Davis, Allison Felter, Renee Franklin, Marian Nunn, Cynthia Prost, and Marilyn Shepard. And finally, I want to really acknowledge an extraordinary group of women in the audience. In case you didn't know, seated among you is a group that makes history in St. Louis every day. Would all the past Visionary Award honorees who are present this evening please stand? And now to continue the magic, I will turn this over to Kim.
Good evening, I'm Kim Eberline, and as you figured out, I'm the other co-chair of the St. Louis Visionary Awards. It's an honor to be involved in this event, and I have one of the most pleasant tasks this evening. Thanking our partners who made this evening possible. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing without the support of people who believe in our dream for this event and want to invest in that dream. The good news is, there's so many, it would use up most of our time if I were to list them. Instead, I ask you to turn to the inside cover of your program. We celebrate all of our sponsors. And I'd like to recognize our 3 presenting sponsors, Centene Charitable Foundation, Spire, and the Stewart Family Foundation. Let's give them a round of applause. We ask a blessing on the vision and work of our 6 honorees and others like them as they transform the world for the better. We are grateful for their gifts, courage, and perseverance, that have enabled them to build up our community in many different ways. Each woman herself is a celebration, and these 6 women being honored tonight are a recognition that the arts make us a more connected and more compassionate society. We also ask a blessing on our whole community as we reflect on what we have in common and what we can accomplish together. Now, we have an impressive group of women to introduce to you tonight, but before you meet them, we want you to welcome someone who needs very little introduction. Kim Massey is a St. Louis icon. Often referred to as one of the most recognizable vocalists in the Midwest. If you've ever heard her, you know why we chose her and what I mean when I say she makes the magic happen. She is a diva in the best sense of the word. She also happens to be a St. Louis Visionary honoree herself. Please welcome to the stage, Kim Massey.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I can hear. There you go. There you go. Oh, you all look so lovely, lovely. I'm so honored to be here today and very proud that I'm a past visionary awardee, and I'm going to do a little something for you right now. Everybody say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our co-hosts for this evening, Susan Sherman and Marcela Hawn.
I knew this would happen. Okay, here we are. They didn't turn the pages, but that's okay. Can we have another round of applause for Kim? Hello everyone, and thank you for being here this evening. I'm Susan Sherman, a proud past visionary honoree and chair of the St. Louis Fashion Fund. And this is my new best friend, Marcela Hawn, who's a fellow lover of the arts and senior vice president and chief communications officer for Centene Corporation. We are the co-hosts for this evening's celebration, and we are so happy that you're here with us tonight. We're thrilled to be back in this amazing Sun Theater. As you may know, and I didn't until I saw this script, this 104-year-old theater originated as a German language opera house at the turn of the century. Thanks to an $11.5 million renovation, it is currently the performance venue for the Grand Center Arts Academy, and it takes its place as an architectural jewel in St. Louis and in the Grand Center Arts District. I can't imagine a better backdrop for what you're about to experience this evening. So to get us started, I'm going to turn the program over to my dear co-chair, Marcela.
Good evening. Buenas noches. What an honor it is to be a part of this amazing celebration. Being part of this event has given me a new appreciation and respect for the depth and breadth of arts in St. Louis. We can proudly take place as one of the most artful cities in the region. The women you are about to see have diverse talents, backgrounds, and passions that help them all contribute to St. Louis's cultural and social tapestry. Tonight, you are going to get a special insight into the hearts and minds of these women. To get to know them better, we asked them to answer a series of questions. Number 1, name something about you that people would be surprised to know. Number 2, if you weren't doing what you are doing right now, what would you be doing? Number 3, what advice would you give to your 10-year-old self? And finally, number 4, if you could dine with anyone, living or dead, who would it be? Needless to say, their answers were illuminating. Let's get started. Our first honoree is the recipient of the 2018 Emerging Artist Award. We think it is accurate to say that she, by virtue of her artistry and the span of her artistic perspective, is wise beyond her years. She arrived in St. Louis 9 years ago and immediately placed her handprint in St. Louis. Courageous, relentless, adventurous, and unexpected are words that have been used to describe her work. Born in Germany to Ghanaian parents, she describes herself as an outsider artist making insider art. She has wasted no time in garnering the respect
and recognition she so richly deserves. She served as a 2016-2017 Romare Bearden Minority Fellow at the St. Louis Art Museum and is presently the Curator-in-Residence at COCA. She is also an adjunct professor at Webster University. At her young age, she has had exhibitions in several states, as well as the Netherlands, Switzerland, and Italy. Her use of color is a thread that weaves in and out of her work. Not surprising, she invites us to examine the politics of clothing, the complexities of global trade, and the residual implications of colonialism in West Africa and Western cultures. An artist, a social explorer, an astute witness to the national and international world order, her art challenges us to take a second look and to question. What would she tell her 10-year-old self? That it is okay to be different and to protect your creative and social ambitions and to be unapologetic about them. Clearly, she listened. Please welcome to the stage our 2018 Visionary Emerging Arts honoree, Yvonne Osei.
Wow. There's a Ghanaian proverb that says, it takes an entire village to raise a child. And even though my parents are far across the Atlantic Ocean, there are many individuals, some here in this room, that have and continue to support me. Having this platform to speak to you is because a group of women found it necessary to carve a space to honor other women. And I am reminded of the many women that have invested in what I have become today. I remember at the age of 11 when my mother turned our dining room into a gallery space where I could showcase my work, or how she never scolded me for turning the walls of the bedroom I shared with 2 other siblings into a pictorial diary. I remember the first week I got to St. Louis, knocking on every gallery door in Webster Groves. It was Julie Campbell that took me in as a gallery assistant. She even took me to the homes of her friends to cut down bamboo for my school projects. Thank you, Julie. I remember in my sophomore year at Webster University, getting my first commission from a woman who believed that I was selling myself too short for offering her a painting at a price she ended up doubling. She told me, "You are that good, Yvonne. Believe in it." I remember my professor, Professor Ward Brown, staying up with me till 3 a.m. to finish up my graduate thesis for Washington University. And how she would often say, "Do not let anyone limit your limitlessness." How my dream to actualize my first collection of garments, an $11,000 budget, became possible through checks and contributions, all by women. You see, if I have any height today, it is because I continue to stand on the shoulders of many powerful women who have selflessly encouraged and invited me into spaces I would have never had the opportunity to grace. Adrienne Davis, Nancy Kransberg, Susan Barrett, Renee Franklin, only to mention a few. I thank you all immensely for believing in me. And to the men in this room, not to say that You do not come to the rescue. But today, I celebrate the importance of women as pace setters in my life. To the young creatives in the room, no one understands your story and your struggles like you do. Be the first to invest in your capabilities and approach your work with boldness. No one sums it better than John Wesley when he says, "Light yourself on fire with passion, and people will come from miles to watch you burn." I thank God, and I thank everyone for being here.
Our next honoree does most of the plumbing in her house. So much so that she has her own set of plumber's tools. It's true. She confesses that if she wasn't doing what she's doing now, she would have been an architect. We are sure that she would have been a great one, but think of what we would have missed. It is safe to say that the cultural life of St. Louis wouldn't have been the same if she had been an architect. Our honoree walks her talk. For more than 40 years, she has dedicated her life to providing cultural enrichment to the St. Louis community. Have you ever been to Shakespeare Festival St. Louis in Forest Park? If you have, you are the beneficiary of a project that she co-founded. She has managed to make Shakespeare available to residents of all ages, and that is quite an accomplishment. As if that weren't enough, there are numerous organizations that have blossomed thanks to our honorees' willingness to serve, serve, serve. She is recent board president and current board member of the St. Louis University Library Associates. She has served on boards of the Fox Performing Arts Charitable Foundation, Friends Board of the Repertory Theater St. Louis Actors Studio, and the St. Louis Film Festival. Without a moment of hesitation, she and her husband Ted generously opened their home as a welcoming venue for countless guests and fundraising events. The arts have found a friend and staunch supporter in our 2018 Major Contributor to the Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lana Pepper.
The Visionary Awards are given for work in the arts, but all of you here have contributed to the arts in St. Louis, either as a creator, a donor, a volunteer, a board member, or an audience member. And so thank you. But I would like to talk to those of you who have sat for hours in board meetings where nothing got accomplished. And to those who have compiled list after list of names to invite to events, and then on the invitation you wrote, "Hope you can join us, hope you can join us," over and over. And then almost no one on your list even showed up. And to those of you who confidently but meekly went to ask for money and you got rejected, it's so discouraging And sometimes you wonder, why am I spending my time doing this? Is it even working? We don't get promotions and raises and year-end profit and production reports or whatever. And so we don't even know if it's working. But let me tell you, your work is working. I did a little research and I compared our city, our metro-sized area with 3 other cities. And we're doing an outstanding job. It's working. I don't have time to list all of our wonderful arts organizations. We have 3 opera companies. But this statement says it all, and this is not fake news. Our arts economy outpasses our sports economy. We do so much good, but we could and we should do better, because we know the power of the arts, especially for young people. I grew up in a place in southern Missouri with almost no art. Quilting was an art until double knit polyester came in the 60s, and then that was the end of that. And I couldn't wait to get out. I just couldn't wait to get out. I didn't know why. It was many, many years later that I figured out I needed to live in a city where I could see theater and dance and hear music that wasn't coming from the Grandel Opry. I got out, but what if there's a child with an artistic soul who can't get out? What happens to that child? First it's frustration, and then anger, and then who knows where that can lead. So let's keep on doing what we're doing and do more of it. And let's do our best to get the younger generation to step up and fill our shoes. That's what we need to do. Thank you very much for this time.
Community. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to us? How do we protect what is most precious about it? And how do we make it better? Regardless of how you have answered these questions, we can all agree that no one is immune from the dynamics of our community and our environment. Our next honoree has found a new way to address these issues. As the founder of Creative Reaction Lab, she empowers community groups and Black and Latino youth to utilize design skills and thinking to address community challenges due to structural racism. And it is already making a difference. A sought-after speaker, she has presented 2 TEDx talks, spoken at NASA and Microsoft, and her work has been recognized in Essence magazine. Now, we have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is Antionette Carroll, the 2018 Visionary Community Impact Artist, is unable to join us this evening. Here comes the good news. She is in New York, interviewing as a finalist for the Echoing Green Global Fellowship, which is a very you already know that since you're clapping, but it's a very selective international fellowship. Antionette wanted to be here with us tonight to accept this award, and she even offered to fly back to St. Louis, but of course we told her, stay in New York. So, just like they do it in Hollywood on these occasions, except
Accepting the award on Antionette's behalf this evening will be Andrea Purnell, a past visionary honoree.
As you can see, I am not Antionette Carroll, but she is a dear friend of mine, and I am so proud of her and am honored to read her words exactly as she has written them, as I have been instructed to do. So I don't have a husband, Nick, or two twins, but she does. First, I would like to thank my husband, twin boys Nicholas, Nolan, my grandparents, mother, father, family members, godparents, mentors, and current and former best friend, Tina, Tim, and Elise, for supporting my outlandish work schedule, traveling, and mission of addressing systemic oppression, especially racism. I'd also like to thank my fellow community impact activators, including ones that have been recognized with this honor and the many others that continue to challenge their vulnerability and trauma every day to create better neighborhoods, schools, governments, and more. Thank you to the St. Louis Visionary Awards and the Awards Selection Committee for providing me with this great honor. Working in an artistic field, especially design, we constantly have to challenge the status quo of how our industries have been defined by the mass majority, including being defined as visual stimulation, all about beauty and not really about function, a pastime. But art and design are so much more. The power of these industries is that they surpass visual and auditory beauty and more so define and connect us to humanity while transforming society for the betterment of all. Design is everywhere and everything. Art builds our physical, mental, and spiritual health. And while the people in this room are aware of the power of both it is also our responsibility to spread this gospel and dispel the status quo. To let our emerging creatives, our youth, know that there is power in their creativity. But we also need to work on changing this misperception and ecosystem so that they and we can be successful in challenging, championing, and changing the world around us using their innate imagination. We all have the power to design better outcomes within and outside of our defined professions. Through our organization, Creative Reaction Lab, we are asking the question of how do you design equity? To do this, we are educating and deploying youth leadership to address racial inequities impacting Black and Latinx populations. But that's our mission. That is our design. After listening, viewing, and engaging tonight's amazing creative leaders, I ask you to consider your mission. Consider your design. You don't have to be a fashion designer, a graphic designer, or even an architect to design a better society. You just have to be a conscious human that moves beyond awareness to action. For years, I have been working to activate a new type of leader, an equity designer for every sector and every scenario. I am asking you to consider this call and possibility to become an equity designer in your own communities. Remember, the power of your creativity and use it. Once we collectively build and expand this movement, community impact would no longer be relegated to the few, but embodied in our humanity. On behalf of Antionette Carroll, I thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. And now, let's have a round of applause for Antionette in her absence. And now, prepare to be amazed, entertained, and inspired all at once. If you think that Circus Harmony is only what its name suggests, a circus, you are about to be blown away. The St. Louis Arches are the premier youth performance troupe from Circus Harmony, St. Louis's only complete circus school and social circus organization. Circus Harmony uses the teaching and performing of circus arts to motivate social change. The Arches are currently comprised of young people 13 to 22 years old from throughout the St. Louis area. These acclaimed and accomplished young people appear year-round in their home rings at City Museum, as well as at events throughout St. Louis and beyond. The Arches perform a wide variety of circus arts, including acrobatic, aerial, juggling, and balancing feats of skill and daring. You can hear them. In 2007, the Arches started their first Peace Through Pyramids partnership with a Jewish Arab youth circus in Israel. This summer, the St. Louis Arches are excited to be forming a new partnership with the social circus program of the National Circus School of Puerto Rico. You can also see them up the street at Circus Flora through May 13. Let it be known that Jessica Hentoff, the Executive Director of Circus Harmony, is a former visionary honoree herself. Right now, get ready to be amazed by the fabulous, the flying St. Louis Arches.
I got trapped back there, and I'm totally out of breath. I can't believe it. Let's give them another round of applause. And guess what? The tech crew back there needs a round of applause too, because I saw a lot of stuff going on. So while we give them a minute to reset the stage, we're going to continue with our program. If our next honoree could have dinner with anyone, she would choose Elizabeth Keckley, Mary Todd Lincoln's personal seamstress and confidant who lived in St. Louis, was a business entrepreneur and a dress designer. She knows that there is an opera waiting to be written about this woman's extraordinary life. It would come as no surprise to us if our next honoree took it upon herself to write that opera. She is certainly strategically positioned to do so. Hailed as a national leader in advancing opera education in the community, she is the Director of Education and Community Engagement at Opera Theater in St. Louis. Hundreds of students in more than 100 metro area schools are introduced to opera each year because of her enlightened leadership. She also oversees an award-winning artist in training program for high school students that has become a national model. This program offers not only college-level vocal training, but fosters discipline, teamwork, and academic success. And to date, as if that wasn't enough, 3 acclaimed operas for young people have been co-commissioned during her tenure with Opera Theater of St. Louis. She also works collaboratively to offer a wide range of programming to underserved populations, such as Opera Camp for Kids in North City, Opera on the Go, which reaches primarily urban schools, and hosting opera singers at detention centers. Devoted to the St. Louis community, she is the quintessential professional. It is my pleasure to present Allison Felter, the 2018 Visionary Outstanding Arts Professional.
It's time for these. Susan, thank you so much, and thank you to the whole committee. I am now looking for my remarks. So, yes, there they are. Okay, hi. Well, standing before you in this beautiful theater alongside my remarkable fellow awardees, this is absolutely a stunning and humbling honor. You know, my first taste of arts management came at age 17 when I was selected as one of only 2 musicians from the state of Kansas to play with the McDonald's All-American Band. We marched in the Macy's Day Parade, we played Carnegie Hall, we attended Broadway shows, we even stood on top of the World Trade Center. And it was in that new world that I discovered my future vocation. All those experiences were extraordinary, but I was more mystified by the logistics and the intricate planning of coordinating 100 kids from 50 states. So fast forward to my first full-time job out of college, which was working for the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra under the direction of the legendary Joan Phan, a pioneer in arts marketing. She hired an enthusiastic but wildly unfocused 22-year-old. She taught me many lessons, but perhaps the most important one was people first. Never mind the seemingly important tasks at hand, it was always people first, and so I have Joan to thank for that. The next person willing to take a bet on me was Charles McKay. As the former general director of Opera Theater, Charles hired an enthusiastic and slightly more focused 33-year-old as his education director. He modeled for me the art of building relationships. The next general director at Opera Theater, Tim O'Leary, taught me perhaps the most important lesson, that tackling the cultural elephants in the room through the power of music for the sake of our community is paramount. And together we proved that through the shared experience of art, people might come to know, respect, and perhaps even love one another. And though I stand here alone, I represent scores of gifted people and colleagues at Opera Theater of St. Louis. There is no better team in town on which to play, and I am so privileged and proud to play on that team. I frequently remind myself that I work for an opera company that pays me not to sing, and this is the gift that you get from me. But what they do pay me to do is priceless. My job is to help kids find their voices, to encourage teenagers to talk about hopes and dreams and help them pursue college. That's priceless. My job is to bring great artists to places with great need, to provide resources to teachers who in turn inspire students. Priceless. My job is to create new programs to expose both the novice and the enthusiastic to opera, bringing together different and disparate parts of our community through a common love of music, demonstrating that we are better together. Priceless. And this honor in recognition of my privilege to do this work too is priceless. And speaking of priceless, there are two more people in my life who have shown me unfailing love and grace that deserve recognition. The first is my mom, who has modeled determination and courage for me her entire life. Mom, thank you, I love you. And to God, who is the ultimate visionary, who has granted me the desires of my heart from all those years ago to be part of this extraordinary work we call art. I am truly grateful for this call. Thank you so, so much.
Allison, maybe you're going to be the next head of the NEA or something. You can talk, girl. I'll tell you, that was brilliant. Our next honoree has great advice for her 10-year-old self. Keep dancing. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what she did, and I imagine that she has given that advice to hundreds of eager young students throughout the years, over 40 to be exact. In 1977, our honoree and her husband followed their dream and created Dances of India. 40 years is a milestone anniversary, as we all can imagine, for any arts organization. I could probably count on one hand the number of organizations that have reached that ripe old age, but here it is, still going strong. Dances of India was created in an era in which Indian was interpreted as being a member of a Native American tribe. How far we've come. Our honoree is a gifted teacher who has taught not only generations of Indian American families, but students from all over the world. In addition to her own school, venues have included St. Louis City Schools through the Springboard to Learning program, after-school programs for public housing projects, and a school for the deaf. She has partnered with the Urban League, with the St. Louis Art Museum, and with every branch of the St. Louis County Library System. Currently, she teaches around 100 students. With such a rich and vibrant history, small wonder that she has no plans to stop anytime soon. So here's to another 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Asha Premachandra, the 2018 Visionary Outstanding Teaching Artist.
So, well, I'm here. All right? I've been reading my speech every day for the past 2 days, and so I hope I won't make any mistakes. So, I'm honored to be here tonight among you, celebrating the achievement of my fellow female artists. When I began dancing so many years back in the 1970s, with my husband was the one who started this, my late husband, Dr. Prem, and I just cannot remember how many years it has been, and it's like a dream to me now. I'm using some of my Indian dance movements. So, it's been like a dream. And this is the 41st season. Well, we'll keep going as long as we can. I wish my husband was here. I miss him every minute, but that's the way life is. So, he was a scientist, and he loved music, Western and Eastern both. But he didn't know much about classical dance till he saw me dancing. So then it changed. It changed a lot. Even now if I think about it, wow, it did change a lot. Yeah. He became an ardent lover of music, dance, not only Indian dance, but all kinds of dances. So then he organized St. Louis Dance Festival Showcase so many years back. And I'm very much blessed with teaching so many students. I don't recall how many. And I'm still teaching. I enjoy teaching. And I have got Indian students and also non-Indians. And sometimes the students come and they're very doubtful whether they're going to like this 2,500-year-old art. And then once they start doing the dance, and I see joy on their faces. So it's been a pleasure teaching, and so I guess that's it. And then my speech is very short. So let me see. I think I do have to say something else. Grace and beauty is always there. Grace and beauty will never leave us. So dancing is just beautiful.
The Muppets take me to a happy place, says our last honoree. Now you have my attention, which is not so easy to get. It's safe to say that this woman takes us all to a happy place with her work. As a poet and a storyteller, she invites everyone to join in the journey of our collective past, here and now, and the future. As you listen, you gladly and willingly join. That is part of her magic. Our honoree is a visual storyteller, poet, author, award-winning advertising copywriter, and two-time TEDx Gateway Arch speaker. Her collection of poems, In the Midst of Loving, has been met with critical acclaim. Her work has been featured in Ebony Magazine, The Huffington Post, and St. Louis Public Radio. She has founded or joined so many nonprofit organizations it would take me all night to list them, so again, check your programs. She has this to say to those seeking a career in the arts. Resist the urge to narrow what is meant to be wide. The world has enough systems designed to suppress what is most beautiful, vibrant, and liberating. Always choose your freedom. Wonderful advice for all of us. Please now welcome to the stage the 2018 Visionary Outstanding Working Artist, Cheeraz Gormon.
Greetings, everyone. I said, greetings, everyone. Greetings. I'm a poet. There you go. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Most High God for my standing here and for my gift as a writer and storyteller. Secondly, I would like to thank my family. I said I wasn't going to do this. But I'm a native of St. Louis, North St. Louis to be exact. I'm a product of College Hill, zip code 63107, where the White Tower is. So, I would like to thank my family, my Uncle Bo, who is in the audience, who is responsible for my love of Queen and the Police. My mother for my love of the Muppets, who does not love the Phenomena song. My Aunt Cookie, who was the first woman journeyman bricklayer, one of the most beautiful artists I've ever known in my life. So thank you all. Because when you are a poet, a young woman growing up in North St. Louis, there are so many things that you are told that you cannot be. St. Louis media has proven that to us over 40 years. Every time I look at the television, it continues to shape a narrative that I stand here to challenge every single day of my life. because beautiful things do come from North St. Louis and every quote-unquote ghetto in the city. When I left corporate America in 2011, I like to thank Prince for giving me some advice. Because when I was debating quitting my job as a creative director and copywriter, I flew to LA, and somehow we managed to get tickets to see Prince for $25. Right, 1986 all the way, right? And Prince said on stage, "People do not think that I would be standing here today, but I'm here to stand as a testimony that you have to do what you love. You have to do what you love." And I knew shortly that when I got off that plane in Portland, Oregon, that I was going to immediately write my resignation letter. Because I no longer loved what I did. Because when you are a writer, because believe it or not, advertising is art for commerce. However, in your heart of hearts, when you are a writer and a poet and a storyteller from your soul, there are certain things that you cannot continue to allow yourself to do. So I made the decision to leave. And I remember a colleague asked me, "What are your plans? What are you gonna do?" And I simply said, "I gotta go get Cheeraz back." Because at that point I hadn't written any poetry, and I decided that it was time. So when I resigned, I went home and just laid out all of my poems on the table. However, it wasn't until November of 2013, returning back home to St. Louis, that I made the time to step into my identity. Because this world will strip you of everything precious if you allow it to. It will tell you what direction to go in when your heart and your mind is definitely pulling you in every other direction. So if I'm going to leave you all with some words tonight, I'm going to say this. And especially for the kids who are in the audience, allow your vernacular and allow your dialect to be your sword. Allow your faith to guide you and to trust that your ancestors are with you every step of the way, because I stand here because of my grandmother, Antionette Gormon. I stand here because of also my other grandmother, Minnie Robinson, who was a pianist. So I'm thankful for the women in my lineage who were amazing artists, and I give thanks to the women of the Visionary Awards and to all the other honorees. Thank you.
Going a little off script, but I've been to so many of these, and I think this class is just the most tremendous. I mean, it's really so to close our evening, please welcome back to our stage Kim Massey and the Solid Cinders.
So, by a show of hands, how many have come to hear me sing at different venues? Who's here for the first time hearing me? First timers? First time? Really? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. I'll take it. It's okay. You're here now, okay? It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. So, for those of you that know me, know that I solicit requests from my audience. So, just wondering what you are thinking about. You want to fast song? You want to slow? You want to fast? Just want to fast, okay. I figured you'd dig that. Yes. We ride together, we die together. That's all right. I've made mistakes like that before. It's okay. It's all right. We live to tell the story. Yeah. Keep it right there. Yeah. Change. The belt
sponsors, and to each and every one of you, you have helped to make this a very special evening full of magic for the St. Louis community.
We hope you will join us in the tent for a celebratory reception and a this face. As you exit the theater, just make a left to the outside patio. Volunteers will be available to direct you. It will be warm. I'll be thinking about who you will nominate for next year to take the stage as our visionary honorees. Thank you, and see you next year.